All right, well, let's take a look at this video. It's my big Frey. Been a while since I watched one of his videos. I love this guy. That makes awesome videos. His F2 videos were so good back then, dude. Absolutely cinema.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Bungie is cooked, and it's not because Marathon is dog shit, although that much is true. The internet is a buzzing over the fact that Bungie.
So I know I made a video on this talking about the weapons designs. I get people did not like that video. I had someone saying the art design was unique. I mean, it's unique. It's uniquely garbage. That's my opinion. It is uniquely garbage.
A multi-million-dollar studio, potentially billions at this point.
Let's look at this thing. I mean, that looks kind of fine to snipe it, but the blocky designs to like every single gun in the game with the character models look like this character model looks garbage, but the weapon does not match, honestly.
Backed by Sony is stealing art assets, and this isn't the first time that they have been accused of this. This isn't the first time they have been caught doing this, and now we can't even call it plagiarism. We can't even call it inspiration. They literally stole.
Then, sorry, this is off topic of the video, but then they had like they had a magnet aim assist for mouse and keyboard, which was absolutely insane. I don't even know why it's even an option in the game. It should not be an option be on in the game.
Assets from an indie artist, and that artist is speaking out, and people are pissed.
Yeah, I was reading through all of it. It's a lot.
As always, my name is Big Fry, bringing you guys the juicy tidbits. I came across this story from a set of tweets from somebody named Billin. It's a thread in which he started off by saying he's about to burn some bridges because thanks to an artist named Anti-Real, daily posters stolen and put as textures in the game and many other assets utilized, you have created Anti-Real the game. And what he's talking about here is a set of images that this artist has worked on since 2017. They have a portfolio that one could consider maybe the direct inspiration for Bungie's Marathon, because it is so
it kind
of
does look like it. Like, it is alleged. Like, you know, one point in the graph, you know, it's like, oh, it happens. It's having to be similar, you know. But they had issues with this before with Destiny, and I don't know if he's going to talk about it. If he doesn't, I will talk about it. But it kind of looks pretty bad for them. Bungie.
Now, getting back to the thread, he actually calls out Joseph A. Cross, who is the franchise art director at Bungie. Now, what's crazy is people have figured out that Joseph A. Cross actually follows Anti-Real on Twitter and has for quite a few years now. This thread goes on by saying Joseph A. Cross is bold and blatant in his art theft, as if no one is going to say anything about this. And in this thread, he posts images of in-game assets utilizing the exact same typography, fonts, images, symbols, and like direct design.
That I can't really give him the benefit of the doubt there, because that's like a lot of stuff stolen, like a lot of similarities between them, you know. So I can't really give him the benefit of the doubt there on that.
From posters that have been posted since 2017. You guys can see here it says like Aleph with like the line, the dark space, and it's ripped literally directly from this artist's portfolio and plastered all over the game. He points out this design as well, which is a lot of like ASCII art from Anti-Real's portfolio. And you might be looking at this image going like, well, I mean, they look similar, but I mean, it's not a direct one-to-one copy. Well, the next tweet goes into it. And this is one of the most blatant, like, stealing of assets that I think we have seen since the Venator Operation Harsh Doorstop situation. You can see here the poster literally has Anti-Real's name and tag on it. And then
I'm sorry. I can't defend that part. Let me move this out of the way. It's like, they upscaled it a little bit, obviously, or I don't know whose is whose. I'm guessing this is Anti-Reals over here. Sorry, this is Anti-Reals and this is Marathon, and they kind of like, I don't know why, like what, like he left the thing there, like at least it's Anti-Real here. Like what? I don't understand what they were trying to do with this.
The game asset, you can see that they kind of erased it but didn't do a good enough job. I don't even know
Yeah,
what they were going for there, but it's
at
just,
that point just make your own. Like, it's just number 28, dude. At that point, just make your own.
it's like clear stealing. Now, a lot of people are saying that Bungie literally stole the entire game's aesthetic from this one artist. I don't know if I would go that far as to say that the entire game's aesthetic was stolen from a portfolio that dates back to 2017.
I would say it's inspired by the portfolio. God, I cannot speak today. But I will say there's a lot of similarities. Probably took mostly inspiration from it. I wouldn't say they stole everything. I mean, there's some stuff that obviously, like, you look at the portfolio, and it's like, oh, what?
There's a lot of artists chiming in, basically pointing out that this style has been basically created and developed and, you know, dating back to the 70s. And it's been refined, and other artists have come in with their own kind of creations and takes on it through the years. And that's just what art is. To say that Bungie stole the entire art direction for Marathon from this one artist, I think is going a little bit too far. That being said, the fact that not only Joseph A. Cross, the art franchise director for Bungie, not only him, but a lot of other artists at Bungie follow this artist on Twitter. The fact that this artist's art is literally showing up in assets in the game, and a lot of the portfolio is clearly inspiring the direction of the game. I'm not saying they stole it one-to-one. I'm saying that what we have is a team of artists at Bungie who obviously all know this same artist on social media. They use some of their art in-game assets, textured, and
I don't know. This game kind of looks like something you see on Roblox or something. That's just my opinion. Like, it's cartoony. It's very cartoony, and this is off topic from the video. I just don't like how I just hate this. Like, the gunplay looked fine, besides the magnetic aim assist on mouse and keyboard, but anything else kind of looked fine.
And threw in the game. I think it's a little bit more than just stealing assets, and I think it's a little bit less than completely ripping off their entire style for the entire game. It's somewhere in the middle, and I'll be honest, Bungie isn't going to admit to any of this. Matter of fact, Bungie did put out a post. Now, I gotta call them out for being absolute fucking cowards about it. They didn't post it on the Bungie Twitter. They didn't post it on the main Marathon Twitter. They posted it on a sub-Twitter that they have called marathonteam.bungie.net. It's the one with the least amount of followers, the one that's going to go out to the least amount of people. Fuck you, Bungie. Everybody has seen it now. We immediately investigated a concern regarding unauthorized use of artist decals in Marathon.
Also, it didn't really help. It's still 1.5 million views on that. It didn't really help going to a different account. I think it's
that a former
worse,
Bungie artist, okay, a former Bungie artist included these in a texture sheet that was ultimately used in game. The issue was unknown by our existing art team, and we're still reviewing how this oversight occurred. The way that it occurred is that you guys probably use this as like mood boards, trying to come up with inspirations. That's not illegal. And then whoever the fuck at your studio decided to then just take the mood board, take those and just put them into the game. Whoever that was, obviously you're not going to name them. You're definitely going to say that they're...
What if someone... Now, this is all speculation here, but what if someone at the studio were like, hey, I got this. We have quotas to complete, and I need to get this work done. And he just picked the fellas on that and just put it in the game. I'm not saying that happened. I'm just making a speculation on what could have happened.
Former. I fully expected you guys to say that this was like a third-party contractor that ended up using these without your approval. A bunch of bullshit. Zero accountability.
They're too big for it. They don't need third-party contractors. They're big enough to not need that.
A bunch of artists on your team follow this person. They know their work. Clearly, the game is inspired a lot by their style. You used assets from their portfolio that you're most likely using in the mood boards. The fact that it got through however many checks and balances that you guys have at the studio for this to happen is fucking insane. As somebody who has used other artists for mood boards inspiration and trying to come up with our own style
it's
based
really
on a
common,
bunch of different content.
it's not a bad thing, by the way, to use other people's art as inspiration. I do it all the time when I'm making like YouTube thumbnails. I look at other people and I kind of put it in my own way and post it. That's how I do my thumbnails. I look at inspiration basically. Or if I'm making a video, I look at what other people are doing. I try to see if I can do something similar to my video, like a successful video. Then I look at my history. Then it's a whole thing. Going through your history of your videos, look at them, see what works, see what didn't. It's a whole thing.
Concepts that artists have put out over the years, the fact that they then just took from the mood board and then put it in the game under their art assets as a small studio, there is absolutely no way we wouldn't have caught on to this. The fact that you guys have so many hoops, checks, and balances to approve art assets, it has to go through multiple checkpoints to get to the end. And you guys just let it fucking slide. At worst, it's malicious. And at best, it's a severe lack of competence from your entire art team. We have reached out to Anti-Real to discuss this.
They made Destiny. Why don't you just go with a Destiny vibe? Like what? Like you have a framework that worked. Where I guess like a backbone that worked or art style that worked. Why don't you use that art style?
Issue and are committed to do right by the artist. Now, what that means, I don't know. This entire story is blowing up with everybody at Bungie's throat. Now, is a lot of this because the Marathon Alpha didn't really sit well with a lot of players? Yeah, most likely. You guys are making a mediocre, uninspired.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the trailers and it was gonna suck. So, but it was even worse than what I expected it. I thought it was to be a bland extraction shooter. Nope, it is horrible from what I've heard.
Fucking game where the only thing that people gave you credit for was the art style that is now in question. A lot of people are saying you guys have stolen this.
I don't know how people like the art style. It's horrible.
Entire aesthetic from this artist. The narrative is already out there. Do I agree with that narrative fully? No. I think there's a little bit more to the story. I think there's a little bit more gray area. I think it's a lot of incompetence, a little bit of maliciousness, and a whole lack of judgment from Bungie's end. Now, Anti-Real goes on to say, I don't have the resources nor the energy to spare to pursue this legally, but I have lost count of the number of times a major company has deemed it easier to pay a designer to imitate or
I saw this post. I have to say I don't. It's too like I agree with the message here, but I mean, if a major company is doing that, you gotta stop them. That's one way it's going to work. You have to stop them. If you can't. If you complain on Twitter about it, then expect something to happen. It probably won't happen. You have to do something about it because your artwork.
Steal my work than to write me an email. In 10 years, I have never made a consistent income from this work, and I am tired of designers from huge companies mood boarding and parasiting my designs while I struggle to make a living. Drop the fucking hammer, and that's exactly what it is. Now, in terms of a legal case, I think this is as slam dunk as humanly possible. And if I was that artist, I would threaten Bungie with potential litigation over this because
if you're not doing it, they're just going to continue walking over you. Like, okay, you don't have the money to do it, okay, but after everyone on the internet seeing this happen, I guarantee you, a lot of people back him. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Oh God. Yeah. After everyone seen it on the internet, people were back that. I think it was a girl, I believe, female. People were backing and obviously hope. But except for the last 10 years that it's been happening, but like, why didn't you do anything about it for 10 years? Like, this is not, it sounds like this is not the first time it happened. Here, let's go back a sec. In 10 years, I've never made a consistent income from this work, and I am tired of designers from huge companies moodboarding and parasiting my designs while struggling to make a living. So it's happened, it sounds like it's happened before, and it's not the first time. So maybe, I mean, I'm not shifting the blame from Bungie here. I'm just saying that if you don't want them to walk over you, yeah, make sure they don't. You have to put the foot down. You're not putting the foot down here.
from huge companies mood boarding and parasiting my designs while I struggle to make a living. Drop the fucking hammer, and that's exactly what it is. Now, in terms of a legal case, I think this is as slam dunk as humanly possible. And if I was that artist, I would threaten Bungie with potential litigation over this because they stole assets, no pay, no attribution, and it was put into the public hands via the Marathon Alpha, which means the assets were created and distributed without your approval. You have a slam dunk case here. Now, I understand you don't want to go toe to toe with a multi-million-dollar studio backed by Sony. Totally understand. However, if this stuff is going to stop, you need to be able to be willing to take these companies to task.
That's exactly,
and a lot of people have shared
exactly what I just said, by the way. Exactly what I said. You wanted to stop, you had to put your foot down and make them stop. Or else they would just keep on going.
Their enthusiasm for potentially starting a GoFundMe to fund a legal case against Bungie. That's just how bad Bungie has burned their goodwill with this community over the last several years. B, that is just how much people are upset at the fact that a multi-million-dollar studio is taking advantage of a sole indie artist. And C, I think a lot of this reaction is due to the fact that Marathon is actual ass. You hear that, little buddy? Your game sucks dick. I was sitting back watching this whole thing. I was like,
I just did that to him. No, the game does suck. I thought the gunplay looked fine from the trailer, but apparently it does not play well. So, yes, it does suck.
Should probably make a video about it. This seems like they have a case, right? The biggest piece that threw me over the edge and pissed me off yesterday watching this was this tweet right here. Anti-Real a year ago in 2024 said, I hid loss in my designs 6 years ago and nobody caught on. Now, I had to go to my team at Transients and figure out what they actually meant. What does it mean by hid loss? In which they explained that loss is, I guess, a meme internet comic that I had no fucking idea about, and they hid the design in all of their art for 6 years and nobody noticed. Guess who did? A user who played the Marathon Alpha. He says, here from the future, if anyone doubts the theft of your art, this also confirms it, in which there is a design decal textured on a material, looks like it's on like a whiteboard or something in game, in which you see the exact same design language of the Lost comic. Now, for those who don't understand what we're looking at here, the Lost comic is like a 4-panel comic in which it shows a woman laying down at the end, but the design language is here. I'll put a picture up so you guys can kind of see what the actual hidden message is.
Okay. I was kind of wondering, I'm not an artist, so okay, that makes sense now. It's like each line's a person here. AC, it's like the outfit they're wearing too. So blue, gray. I guess other one with blue. You know, it's just how it is.
How it's designed in a very like simplistic caveman stick level drawing. You compare that to what's actually in the game today.
Yeah, it's pretty much there too. That's insane.
Clear as day that they stole multiple assets from this artist. Now, the question is, what the fuck are people gonna do about it? We can complain online. Most of us aren't buying the game anyway, so fuck them. But when it comes to what this artist is going through and what they're now dealing with, this is about to explode. And I think Bungie is probably reaching out to cover their own ass. They don't give a shit about the artist. They give a shit about their bottom line, because I don't think Sony's gonna like another flop from a AAA studio in the multiplayer.
The last thing they want is another Concord. That's all I gotta say.
Space in 2025. They already went through Concord. We can't let them go through another disaster. Guess what? They're going through another disaster. They could reach out. They could pay this artist what they believe they're worth. I don't know what that number would be, but I also don't think that that is enough to rectify this situation. Considering the fact that this is now the 4th time in recent memory that people have caught on to the fact that Bungie is stealing art from artists without crediting, without pay, without attribution, without fucking anything. 3 times within Destiny 2 in the last few years. So Bungie has a history of doing this exact same
I know about the Ace hand cannon. That's the only one I know about. You told me it happened more than that?
Thing over and over and over again. If you guys really were true to your word and you say that you take this stuff very seriously, do better, maybe. Just maybe. At the time of recording this video, I'm seeing a bunch of articles coming out now saying that this is the last straw for people when it comes to Marathon. I think this might be the final nail. I think a lot of people were already upset at the fact that Marathon felt uninspired, it felt lazy, it was just chasing trends from a multi-million-dollar studio that they know can do better. And then obviously when you compare it to the legendary...
It's insane that this company made Halo about 20 years ago.
Game arc raiders. I mean, there's really no competition. Hashtag not an ad, hashtag FTC compliant. There are some YouTubers that are sitting here playing devil's advocate going, oh, well.
People accuse Brickfly all the time of being always advertising and stuff, but he's really not most of the time. It's insane. But yeah, it's insane really to see that a big company is doing stuff. Like, it seemed to with Call of Duty a few years ago, or maybe a year ago, with it was like that bear skin or something, and I think Modern Warfare 3, same situation. So it's not like the first time this happened with a AAA company. It's like probably one of many.
Maybe this happened, maybe this happened. Stop excusing multi-million-dollar corporations. Stop defending them. They don't fucking need it. They have made more money in the last fucking decade than you will make in your entire lifetime 10 times over, and your entire family. Stop defending the incompetence, the laziness, and
they probably make more money than my bloodline.
And just the ineptitude from the higher ups at these studios. Just stop defending it. You hear that? Stop fucking defending it. If this is the final nail in the coffin that is Marathon, hey, fuck them. At the end of the day, I want to know your guys' thoughts. Do you care? Do you think this is going to affect Bungie's bottom line when it comes to the release of Marathon?
Yes. You want to know why I said that? Something similar, not the same situation, by the way, but something similar situation where Obsidian got a lot of flack because the lead designer or something came out and started saying stuff to challenge Elon Musk, and the game flopped. I don't know if it's because of that, but it probably did have a big impact on it. And something like this definitely will have a big impact.
Do you give a shit at all? I want to know your thoughts down below. And while you're down there, leave a like on the video and subscribe for more content just like this. My name is Big Fry, and if you guys use my code BIGFRY at gamersubs.gg at checkout, you can get yourself free shipping worldwide through sports drinks, and you can't go.
All right, well, that's all with that. Good video, by the way. I find it insane, really, that they're still trying to, like, no, sorry. I find it insane that they stole this dude's art, or this girl's art, sorry. I don't know if it's a he or a she. I heard people say she, so I'm assuming it's a she. I keep saying dude. So, I find it insane that they stole the art, and once he got caught, they're like, oh, we'll compensate them this time.